Now we've moved on to the next area where we're going to install our Delta Wing or Elevon servos here in the pre-cut out slots. Here you have a couple of different choices once again with what to do with the install, but we're just going to show you the way that I'm going to do it, and it's been working out pretty good so far. First of all, I would like for you to take note if you're watching this build and you're planning on picking one of these up, or you have picked one of these up from us. The Elevons, the control surfaces here are called they're EPP hinges. They're live hinges. They're one piece all the way across. You don't have to fear if it breaks. If you lose a complete one side of the control surface, this can be glued back on with the included glue, and then some Scotch tape. It'll hold it right back on there. A lot of our wings, they don't look very pretty because we really fly them hard, and we beat them up quite a bit. So these things are made to fly. This is under $100 shipped to your door. So just have fun with it. Don't be afraid to crash it. Don't be afraid to learn new maneuvers with it. Don't be afraid to fly low and slow or fast, however you want to fly it. So right now, having said that, because these are EPP hinges, I would like for you to break these hinges in by physically moving them with your hands. So don't be afraid that this is going to rip in half, because it shouldn't. On the bottom of the wing, it's beveled, so you can only bend it down so far. But on the top, it's just a living hinge. It's just the EPP hinge. So you can definitely move it around like this. I would say, do this probably in the neighborhood of 25 to... revolution-wise, 25 to maybe 35 times, and then feel it. You can feel that the tension has lightened up quite a bit. Then you're ready to go for the next step of the install. So we definitely will do this, and then we'll do it to the opposite side as well to loosen it up. There are some other tips to actually loosen these up further, which we will talk about in a separate video, just because this video is going to be pretty long as is. Excuse me. Okay, so now that we've done that, these hinges are a lot softer now than before. They were pretty tight, so you definitely want to break them in. And then also keep in mind here, this is a flying wing. We're not 3D'ing with this kind of a flying wing here, so we're not looking for 90 degrees of elevator or aileron travel on at any means. Very limited movement on this is already going to make this pretty sensitive, and I have very light movements on mine, and we'll actually go into the setup on a separate video once again. But just keep in mind that we're not looking to move this control surface full max up or down. And also, if you over press the servos on here, you'll notice that the inside trailing edge is going to move more in degree wise and throw wise than your tip, which is completely normal, which is fine because it's flexing a little bit, and the more you fly it, the more it's going to break in. But you don't need to have that move completely exactly the same amount as the inside portion, because your push rod will actually be mounted to here, and the pressure point is right here. It's going to make this area here a lot stronger as far as giving the pressure to moving the control surface than to here. So don't worry about that. That's going to be completely normal, and it won't affect anything. Okay, now having said that, we're going to move on to our servo installation. This part here is, once again, a lot of people are going to be doing what they choose to do on their own. I'm going to be doing it a certain way, and we're going to locate the bag with our little tiny push rods and the two little carbon rods, which are your push rods, and then a shrink tubing. Okay, there are several ways to do this as far as the push rod's concerned, but right now we're not going to talk about the push rod just yet. This part here, we're going to talk about the included little 5-gram servos here and how they're going to be inserted into the servo bays and what we're looking to do here. There's a couple of ways to do this. If you wanted to do this quickly to get out and fly, you would basically just put rubber cement on the servos and then shove them down into position just like that. Okay, if you run the servos this way, you're going to have a little bit shorter of a lead getting into your receiver. However, if you're looking to do this fast and not looking to have a, you know, a perfectly built, streamlined stinger wing here, a lot of my friends do this. All they're doing is they are just taping the servo wire to the top of the wing and then running this to the bottom and then to the receiver inside the slot here, and or they're running the receivers right here. Makes it nice and easy to access. Your wires can go anywhere you want. So that's personal preference. And you're also, what's personal preference is you can mount the servo this way, which let's go ahead and open a pack here so this gives you a little bit better visual orientation of what's going on here. Okay, let's go ahead and take one of the control horns that is included with the wing here. You could run your servo this way and your arm would be like that. Let me go ahead and zoom this in a little bit. Okay, your arm would be facing that way, or you could run your servo this way in this orientation and have your arm facing in this way. Or you could totally flip your servo around and then have it this way and then have your arm facing that way. I've done it, I've actually mounted it different ways on different wings, and it actually makes no difference whatsoever. If you mount it this way, it gives you a little bit more wire to play with. If you do want to hide your servo, if you do want to hide your receiver out of place there, but there's no need. We're not looking to keep this thing extremely aerodynamic, so if you do just mount your receiver to the top right here, which is perfectly fine. Okay, what we have here is, this is my own personal stinger wing that we've been flying at the AMA Expos, and I did the flight review with this particular one. And what I wanted to show you is you have an option as well. You could definitely see what I've done here. These are mounted in this orientation here, and I have my servo wire. I basically just slotted the EPP foam, and I vertically hid the servo wire inside the foam. And get this a little closer here, and you can see that there's a slot right there, and my wire runs from there to underneath the motor block, or the battery block, motor block here, and then my receiver's back down into here. Okay, so I just kept it cleaner like that. If you choose to do it that way, you definitely do not have to do it that way. And if you do it that way, all you're doing is you're going to cut it with you're going to kind of route it out to where the little entrance is to the bottom of the bay here, and you'll just slot it basically with your X-Acto blade, and then just run it right underneath. It's easy as that. And then as far as the top side is concerned, I wouldn't worry about doing anything to it. If you're concerned about that slot being there, the rubber cement is perfect. I get it on my finger a little bit, or you can just run a bead on there and then kind of just use your finger like this, and it'll just adhere into there and then keep that surface nice and flat and stuck together there. So that's a choice to do as well. If we did that on video, this is extremely long, so we're not going to go ahead and do that, but I'm just showing you what we're doing here in correlation to a stinger wing that we've been flying and that is already built.